The Blue Jays are interested in Alex Bregman. Because guess what? The Blue Jays are interested in everybody. If they signed everybody they were interested in, they would win the World Series the next 10 years in a row.
Yes. Right. Right.
Because this is the thing. This is the thing that I learned this offseason, Brig, is that after the Mets, the next richest ownership group is the Blue Jays.
Right.
So of course they're in on everybody.
Of course.
Because they're like, we will pay you what you want us to pay you. Like, the problem I think that Toronto has is the income tax.
It's a big deal.
It's a really big. It goes in. I know for sure it's like a big conversation in NBA circles, and I think in NFL circles as well. That the states that don't have state income tax, guys are like, that's why the big three landed in Miami. That's why LeBron, Bosh, and Wade. That's part of the reason they ended up in Miami. It was because of Florida state income tax.
Yeah,
or lack thereof. But
anyway,
so I was reading this today, and currently the guy slated to play third base for the Blue Jays is Ernie Clement, and he's a defensive specialist and offensive liability from what I read. But also the Red Sox are interested in Bregman, which makes zero sense to me. It makes less sense to me now than Arenado did last week.
What?
Because I don't. He's not a shortstop. Either is Devers.
No.
What do you do? Is Bregman going to be your DH? Is Devers going to be your DH?
What? When you said Arenado was willing to move to first, that's a serviceable decision. That makes sense.
Right.
I can see it. I can't see either of those guys moving anywhere else. They are staple third basemen, everyday guys, offensive and defensively capable, if not superstars. Come on.
Right.
Why? What do they know that we don't? That's what I want to know. What is going on that we are not privy to?
So this is one thing that I was just thinking about. What if Devers is like, I'll move to first base? The problem is that Devers is not even 30. The move from third base to first base is an old guy move.
Yep, right.
Early to mid 30s is what that feels like, right?
Which is why Arenado makes sense.
Right, he's like 32. Bregman is 30. He'll be 31 March 30th. I don't see him wanting to move to first base, though.
No.
So it was mind-boggling to me. Bregman has played shortstop at the big league level, but the last time he did was in 2019 and was not very much.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's distasteful. That makes no sense.
And a little piece of me wonders if the interest in Bregman is like the Blue Jays' interest in everybody. Let's just see what we can do.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's see what dominoes we can push over. And maybe they say, hey, Bregman, how you feeling? Which is basically a big elbow nudge to Nolan Arenado. Like, you're not the only guy. So
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But it seems like a game of smoke and mirrors. Nothing else makes sense.
I know.
Unless Devers is broken and they need a guy for a season or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure. It's weird, though, because the thing we talked about Bregman last week was Detroit is like the big suitor, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But that hasn't happened yet. So now we've got the Blue Jays coming in. We've got the Red Sox, apparently. And we both talked last week about how we felt he could fit in Seattle and in New York.
Yeah.
Because I think a big thing in Seattle is they're waiting for some other dominoes to fall before they sign anybody. Because they have not done a darn thing besides sign a 37-year-old utility infielder today to play third base or first base. I don't know.
Right. They don't know either. There are other teams that Bregman could go to, but he needs star power. He needs status. He needs spotlight. And which is why we suggested the teams we've suggested so far. But who's okay? Talk about collecting baseball cards. Who's playing third base for the Angels right now?
Well,
Which is
so,
ridiculous.
I mean, you want to get
But
down to it. It's supposed to be Anthony Rendon, but they have said that
that's
he's
what I'm
not
saying.
guaranteed a starting spot.
Nope.
So who played third base for them?
Was it Urshela? No, he moved on.
No. Gio is actually in he's in Sacramento. He's with the A's.
Yeah, he just signed with the A's, that's right.
Luis Rengifo played some third base last year until he got injured. He is still with the Angels. Who else played some third base last year? There was an absolute revolving door at third base last year for the Angels. Cole Tucker played some third base for them.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Cole, sorry, buddy. Like,
this is the thing is
I love
love
that
Cole
he'll play
Tucker on
anywhere,
Instagram, and I love that he'll play anywhere, and he is a good first team all good dudes
for sure.
Like we got to meet him last year, first team all good dudes for sure, but unfortunately, not a big league.
Okay.
So I don't know, man.
I feel like most teams would be willing to shift their lineup, shift their roster, make some space for a guy like Alex Bregman. The reason it hasn't happened yet is alarming. So, are there things about Alex Bregman we don't know? Is that why the Astros were okay to let him go?
The Astros are cheap. That's why they're okay to let him go. They're not going to pay for him. That's why they traded Kyle Tucker, because they didn't want to pay Kyle Tucker. They didn't want to risk him losing him in free agency because they're not going to give him what he's worth. Like they should have traded Bregman. I know that they made a little bit of a playoff. They made a playoff appearance. I'm going to say a run because they made an appearance.
Yeah.
Right. And they probably would not have done that had he not been part of that team, because the pieces they got back would not have had the impact he did.
Correct.
But at the same time, though, they had to know. They had to know that he was going to want more than they were willing to pay. And I wonder if the Astros are just sitting on their hands waiting to see if he comes crawling back for cheaper, to give them a discount.
That's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. Fascinating. Really interesting stuff. So that's one that I've been tracking, though, is the Bregman deal, because
I didn't know about the Red Sox, though. That's wild.
I am notorious. I don't know about notorious, but I've been known to hate on a guy when he plays for any other team. But as soon as he puts on my team's uniform, I'm his biggest fan.
Right.
I used to be the biggest LeBron hater. When he hit free agency, my buddy's like, "How would you feel if he signed in Portland?" I was like, "I'd go buy LeBron James jersey tomorrow." Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
Oh yeah, you would.